All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about more sad news in the world of music and doing it in real time for a few real people out here, just like you and me. So, the other day, I was talking about an Australian drummer in the band Midnight Oil. His name is Rob Hurst, and he revealed that he has pancreatic cancer and he's been battling the cancer for the last 2 years. Um, Australia, by the way, was one of the most draconian and most authoritarian places on planet Earth a few years ago. Hurst is 69 years old. He's still battling the disease. He says it's ongoing. I've had pretty much every treatment known to man, every scan, ultrasound, MRI. I've kind of had the works. So, fast forward to today, and a couple of things to note about what I'm about to talk about is I'm wondering if the American version of the Little River Band will mention this on their website. So, here's the sad news for today. So, founding bass player Roger McGlaughlin has died at age 71 from pancreatic cancer. He was born in New Zealand. He played bass for LRB on their first two classic albums, the Little River Band, the self titled album, and then the After Hours album, 1975 and 1976. His bass playing was featured in songs like It's a Long Way There, Curiosity Killed the Cat, Emma, and Every Day of My Life. Some of you probably used to hear It's a Long Way There on radio stations here in the United States. It was on the top 40 back in the day in 1976 and reached number 31. This guy was a monster bass player, and he's passed away, 71 years old at this point. This is just more sad news. And by the way, again, this linked to the first story about the drummer Rob Hurst from Midnight Oil. Very different band, obviously, from LRB. His friend Michael Oliphant said this: "It is with enormous sadness I report that Roger McGlaughlin passed away today from complications due to pancreatic cancer. He leaves behind his adoring wife, Desley, and a delightful, loving family who were all with him right until the end. Roger didn't wish his struggle to be widely known and chose to keep it just between family and a handful of friends. Roger was a wonderful friend, collaborator, musical powerhouse, an absolute monster bass player. Life will never be the same. Rest in peace, dear mate. Gutted." That was, again, his friend Michael Oliphant. So, here we are again, where I'm actually not trying to talk about this issue, but I even have people from Australia who are sending me messages saying, yeah, some crazy things are happening here. And you're not going to hear about this at all. Excuse me. And I'm wondering, do people really even care? This is what I was saying all along on the other channel a couple of years ago when I thought, there were even more of these occurring. But what I did was I had to step away from some of it because I was getting blasted on both ends. I was told that I was crazy and that I had no proof and there's no evidence of this stuff occurring. All right, so let's take away the authoritarian, draconian stuff that these people mandated. This was mandated. If you wanted to go to school, if you wanted to go to work, if you wanted to be in a rock band, if you wanted to travel, that was another big one. You had to do this. And It was one of those, everybody is doing this so they can, quote unquote, get their life back. Remember that? You want to have a life, you want to get your life back, then you need to do what the government's telling you to do, which just sounds evil, right? It's evil. I don't care what they're telling you to do. And then you're blasted and you're told these are experts. You have no idea what you're talking about. You make these claims like you think, are you a doctor? Are you smarter than our doctors? No, I'm not smarter than a doctor, most likely. I could never get through med school. So, no, I'm not smarter. But smarts and wisdom are two different things. And so I'm here just to say, is anybody going to look at this stuff? Now, a little sidebar here. So Roger was a co-founder of the original Little River Band. There are a lot of people here in the United States that don't know that there is an original Little River Band. Right now, they think this current band here in the United States, this Bro Nashville band, starting to sound more and more like just a run-of-the-mill country band, and which is bizarre because LRB was never a country band. They had some country influences, but it's like the name got hijacked because it kind of sounds like a band that originated here in the United States, but it didn't. And they weren't a country band. But anyway, I'm wondering if the original band will weigh in on the death of a great musician and a co-founder of the name that they now have. It's just kind of weird how far removed all of this is. You have to go back 50 years to 1975 to really appreciate the 21-year-old bass player who was on that debut album and sounded amazing. Again, I'm just here to report what a lot of people are going to probably leave out. And so I'm here again with very suspicious stuff. And will anybody look into this? Pancreatic cancer, the drummer from Midnight Oil has it. This gentleman here passed away from pancreatic cancer. Well, Dave, cancer is rough and it's really bad. Okay, like I was going to say, let's put aside all of the forced stuff that went on and just take a look at cancer and say, all right, we've got all this technology. People are glued to their screens all day. Their phones are their best friend. They can't do anything without their phone. It's great technology. You can learn about the world. You can carry the world in your pocket. It's just a great thing, right? We've got all of this tech stuff. But yet we haven't made a lot of inroads when it comes to cancer. And pancreatic is brutal because of, how hard it is to do an operation. Rob Hurst basically had, or they attempted an operation called a Whipple surgery to try to remove the tumor, and apparently it wasn't successful. It was an 8-hour surgery that was unsuccessful. So between that and then the radiation, apparently that's all we've got. That's all we've got. So just looking at it from that standpoint, you've got one guy who's 69 who's still alive, and we've got another guy who's 71. And I'm going to get that, 71, that's kind of old. I mean, he's in his 70s, man. A lot of people die in their 70s. It's not unusual, Dave. No, it is kind of unusual. It just is, right? I mean, when you retire at 65, so what? You've got 6 years left to live when you retire. You've worked your butt off, and you've given the state and the government all your money, and they've told you what to do. You work for a boss who is a real jerk, and I got 6 years left to enjoy my life because the government told me to do X, Y, and Z. Even if that's not the case, you would think with all the money we waste on all this stuff like war, for instance, and pick your cause, pick your thing that we waste money on. wouldn't it be really prudent to invest some money into cancer research? I don't think a lot of people would be against that. And then maybe doing a little research alongside that to determine whether or not the super safe and effective mandated product was a good idea. And if there was anything that could have possibly went wrong with that. Just saying, you know? So anyway, this guy, Roger McGlaughlin, he was the real deal. All right. Great bass player. Apparently had a great family and was part of a legendary band, which I think a lot of people don't remember the original guys, and they should take a look at the history of this group. And the American guys, they should say something about this today. If they don't, it wouldn't surprise me, because if you open up that door, right? Oh, what? There are other people? I want to know about the original band. What were they like? Who is in this band? Let me go back and listen to this music. Oh, wow, it's really good. It's brilliant. By the way, no reason whatsoever you couldn't nominate the original Little River Band for the American Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's no reason. If you're going to say they don't have enough catalog, that's BS. They set all kinds of records. I think they had 4 consecutive albums that were platinum sellers, and then they had hits or whatever off of those albums many years in a row. Again, I'm kind of butchering this statistic, but I'm just saying there was a period of time where this band was on a real hot streak, which was unprecedented. They even got the attention of George Martin, who produced at least one of their albums. I don't know about more than one, but he came along and gave them a little shot in the arm. But they were doing great even prior to that. And so, anyway, that's just another thing I'm throwing into this. But rest in peace. Great bass player and a great man by the name of Roger McGlaughlin. He will be missed, and people need to know about this and other things that are happening out there, and pray for that gentleman by the name of Rob Hurst from Midnight Oil, because he's still battling pancreatic cancer, and all the people in Australia and New Zealand, and Canada and Israel, and all these places where they felt that this was the only solution to this problem. And this might be completely unrelated, like I always say. Or I could be right. And I've told people before, I would rather be wrong. I'd rather be wrong, and I'm hoping that I am. But the more time that goes by, we've got at least another 10 years of this, people say, or at least 6 or 7 years since they came out with this stuff in 2021. We've got a long way to go. So God keep everybody safe out there. And if there's a way to heal everybody, God, heal all of these people in Jesus' name.